Hello, everyone out there. I am back, and the last time I left, I was speaking on the fact that this all-star euphonium player from Parkview High School. By the way, if you don't know, Parkview High School is a high school in which Derek Fisher played high school ball at. Was it? I may be wrong. It may have been Hall. It was either Hall or Parkview. I thought it was. I thought it was Parkview. It may have been Hall. But anyway, that's just like a little side note. Uh, I only beat him one time, and that's when I got first alternate my senior year. And I never forget when I looked at that list because I worked super hard, and it was my goal to make All State. And I went up to they posted the tryout results on the board, and I went up to the wall, and I'm looking down, looking for my name. I just wanted to make it. That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to make it. I didn't see my name. I go back and I look again, and I didn't see my name. They eventually tell you if you made first or second alternate. For some reason, they didn't have my name on it. They didn't even put any of the alternates on there. So I just looked down there and I just saw, oh man, I didn't make it. And I didn't hear my band director was behind me. And I turned around, she was behind me, and she wasn't crying, but she had a cry in her voice, and she said, "I'm so sorry," because she knew I had really and truly desired, to make it. So that's one. I felt like for those who are into sports, I felt like Larry Bird probably felt when he lost in 1979 what is it called, the NCAA tournament with Irvin Magic Johnson. If there was one thing he could go back and change, he would go back and win that. So if there's one thing I would go back and change, I would go back and make All State, even though I was first alternate. So now we're into how I ended up with my college degree. And this is kind of to me, it's a funny story because I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I spent my whole life focusing in on my instruments and, that kind of thing. That's what I did. That's what I did. On spring break, 1994, my mother, she comes in my room. I want to say it was a Monday. She comes in my room. She says, "Wake up, we're going to Tech, Arkansas Tech." And I was sitting there like, Arkansas Tech, what? And, I went to band camp there. I went 1 year and went there when I was in my 7th grade year, and I loved it. She said, "We're going to Tech." I didn't have any letters. I didn't go to any auditions. I didn't do anything. If you're going to go to college and you want to major in music, you generally have to go during their audition days. And see, my mother didn't know any better, and I didn't know any better, and so we drove to Russellville, which is about an hour away from where I grew up. So we drove to Russellville, and when I got to Russellville, I met the music secretary, office secretary. And so she see me and see my mom. She's like, "Can I help you?" And my mom's like, "Well, we come up here to try to see if my son could talk to the professor who she couldn't even tell what my instrument was that played his instrument." She said, "Well, what is it?" I said, "The baritone." And the secretary, her name was Marie Hall. I don't know what she's doing now, but she's one of my favorite people. But she says, "It's spring break." They were on their spring break too. And she said, "The last audition was in February. Why didn't you come during the audition?" And I said, I didn't know. And she was like, "Well, all the professors are gone. People are out of town and doing different things." And you could tell she had her putting things in boxes, and the way she was dressed, she wasn't dressed to come to work. She just so happened to be there. And the low bass professor at that time was Andy Volta Anders, one of my favorite people in the entire world. Well, anyway, She said, I call up there, but I mean, I can't guarantee you that he'll be in there. This is spring break. And she called him, and guess what? He was in the office. So we go upstairs, and Mr. Andrews is just super nice and super personable, and just really was an encouragement to me. He's probably one of the biggest reasons I end up graduating from Arkansas Tech, was because of his leadership and his can-do attitude. He really helped me. So I go up there, and I had my little all-region songs that I had, and I played through it. And he asked me a couple of scales and that kind of thing, and I played, and he said, I don't normally do this, but I feel like you qualify for a full tuition scholarship. What do you think about that? And me being just turned 18, not knowing that much, it's kind of was like, I guess it's good. Of course, my mother was celebrating. I think she was behind him saying, I told you. So if you couldn't understand what I was saying, she was saying behind him, I told you. I told you. So I was offered a full tuition scholarship. You have to be a music major to do that. So I started off as a music major. And I'm at Arkansas Tech. I'm in the band. And here's the funny thing. All the people that beat me at Allstate, great people. There's a guy named Joey Kroom, Elliott Brett. I mean, there's probably, I'm missing, Elliott Brett's a band director, I believe, in Springdale, Arkansas now. Joey Kroom, I don't know if he's a band director, but his father was a band director. The Northwest Arkansas is a big for their bands. And so a lot of those guys end up beating me. There was even a guy from North Little Rock here, I can't remember his name, but all these people were all state. They even had people from Texas who were all state in Texas. We had one from New Boston. His name was Ashley Henry. So we had great players. And when I got there, I just didn't realize what the level was like. I didn't practice all summer. And when I got there, I was last chair. I'll never forget that. And, I was considering changing my major and everything. Well, I didn't change my major. I stuck with music. Mr. Anders prevailed upon me at a time to take music education, which I'm going to get to in just a moment. I don't want these videos to go over too long, so I'll probably end there, and then we'll have, this is part 6. We already did part 5, so this is part 6. See you later.